right. Well, let's start with talking all about brilliant massage and skin. So, would you share with the audience first of all, how did you start this? Why did you start this concept? You do some things differently, and I love it. I want you to share with everybody what you're doing.
Yes, absolutely. So I started in 2017 officially after I graduated massage therapy school here in Vermont. And I was just solo practitioner. And then I started hiring on other massage therapists. And in 2021, we opened a second location. Um, to expand in this 10 minutes away from the downtown first location. And we also added aesthetic services. So I went also to aesthetic school in 2020 and 2019, and then 2020 finished. And then in 2024, Vermont being a small population state, I was thinking, well, what would be the ways to keep growing the brand? Because not really much space to open many corporate locations here. So franchising seemed like a natural step to go into other markets of
Hmm.
Vermont. And that's what the plan is right now.
You just made it sound way too easy, by the way.
Well, it looks easy. Everyone like looks at us or me and like, oh, I want to be a spa owner. Looks like you're having so much fun. Well, I
Yeah. Well, you're always smiling. So for that, I can see that why people would say that for starters. But let's go back to the beginning because I think you're an incredibly resilient business owner and just really a resilient person. I mean, your backstory is fascinating, and I'd love for you to share kind of like what brought you here. I mean, you came from Lithuania, right, as a 19-year-old, and remember your parents had just passed?
Yes. So I lost my mother when I was 16. She had cancer. And I lost my dad when I was 19 in 2007, and that's when I came to US right after that happened with my dad. And I think I was just traumatized. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to kind of new fresh start in a
Hmm.
new place. And also my mother's dream was for me to come to US to study, and I followed that. I also played classical piano all throughout high school. So initially I actually thought I was going to be pursuing music in my life as a career, but I think when my parents had so much health issues, I really got interested into wellness and preventative health and self-care. And that's why I think I shifted towards what I'm doing now. And also I love being an entrepreneur. My dad was an entrepreneur, and I think I got that inspiration from him
That's
too.
amazing. Well, I know they'd be very proud of you. What brought you to Vermont?
Well, so Lithuania is very similar weather like Vermont
Hmm.
and four seasons. So I think it reminded me home. I like the Northeast region. I did live in New York City for quite some time. It just became too much hustle and bustle there. So I decided what is like something more peaceful, and I didn't plan to stay here for as long as I've been here now. I think, well, it's gonna be now. It's ten years already, actually. I think just the people are really nice, and I came thinking I was just gonna stay here for a little while, and then I just met my husband also, so that's the other reason, and I ended up staying in Vermont.
Oh, well, that worked out really well.
Yes, yes. So I love everything about it. We just need go to other states to grow the business more.
Sure. Well, I know you're going to do that. So I'm curious, what led you into the massage business? Because I know you want to put a focus on health and longevity, but when you came here, right, you came here as this classic pianist, and what made you go to massage then?
Yeah, so it's like I never in my life when I was, let's say, in high school or until I actually started to look into massage therapy. Prior to that, I never even had aspirations to own a spa or be in this business. It sometimes, I guess, happens when we least expect it. The life takes us to a certain path. I did took personal training certificate in my early 20s, and I was also a passionate runner. I did ultra marathons as well, a few of those, and like weightlifting because of, being interested in longevity and wellness and
Sure.
eating healthy. And I thought I'll take a massage class just kind of to learn for myself and maybe have it as like an additional part-time gig I could do on not a full-time basis. But then I saw the demand and I made it into full-time job for
Hmm.
full-time endeavor. But I don't know why massage therapy, because it is flexible and it seemed like a good additional part-time job income. At that time, I didn't had like an actual real plan what to do with it. I love learning new things, and sometimes some things just we gravitate towards too, right? So
Right. Of
it
course.
and it seemed like, because I loved helping people, I loved the physical aspect, that it was like a movement and not sitting at the desk activities. So it was a combination of things.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're obviously somebody who always wants to grow and you're always looking to learn. I'm curious to know how far into working at the first spa, and you're the massage therapist, were you already starting to think, you know what, I'm going to open one of these myself?
So, I actually opened my solo studio right out of school.
Oh, okay.
For anyone else, fun fact about me, that I actually always been in some capacity self-employed. Like I never actually held like a 9 to 5 normal job.
Well, some people would say that you're probably not employable. You need to work on your own. You're not going to want to follow anybody else's rules.
I don't know if okay to follow rules. Like I actually was a very good student in high school and schools. And whenever I took courses, I do very well. I get, GPA and top grades. So I think I can follow the rules, but I don't know what is it about the business and entrepreneurship. I just don't want to be employed for anyone.
That's fair enough. I That totally resonates with me, by the way. So Yulita, so when you're running your own spa for a bit, what prompted you to decide franchising was going to be the way you're going to expand versus opening up additional spas, right? Because you have two spas. And so how far along were you running yours until you decide, I think franchise is the right way to go?
Well, I was considering whether, this is something I'd like to get into. Why franchising? Well, I went to IFA's New York City International franchise show that they have, and I spoke to some people, and it seemed like the franchise community was very supportive. They also had a lot of education. I don't have a business degree, so I'm a self-learner. And over the years, I've taken different courses and classes and I read a lot of books, probably read most of the books there is on business. Um, but but it is the community that really solidified my decision to grow through franchising. Like I said, just like getting my CFE certification, that was helpful. Because if I was just to go grow through corporate, I'm not like a business executive where I was confident to just grow on my own. Like I feel like I wanted to be a part of the community and get that education and support first, but also the resources part. Franchising allows us to have, like a parent company with child companies that have brings their own liquidity, their own business assets. And in that way, financially, it makes the growth ability, allows us to grow faster, it gives us the ability to grow. I would think once we get the ball rolling, it's more opportunity for expansion to
Of
franchise
course.
and corporate.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The
The Emerging Franchise Brands podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fumey, or Emerging Franchise Group LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.